Hey, it's your boy T Rob. Welcome back to the podcast, Unapologetic Perspective. Um, Once again, we've been watching the numbers with every video that we put out. We're seeing our numbers are going up, our following is going up, and I want to tell everybody I really appreciate the love for the content that we're putting out. This stuff is near and dear to my heart, really. You know, the purpose of this show is to talk about my journey. So, if anything in my journey can help somebody out in their journey in life, that's the purpose of all of the content that I'm putting out. I believe wholeheartedly that I had to go through something in order to have a message for everybody out there who may think that they're alone in the struggle out here and that they've hit a dead end or hit a wall when it comes to trying to figure out what the direction is in life that they need to be going. So once again, like I said, man, I appreciate all the love that you all have shown me by liking and subscribing. If you haven't yet, if you watch my content more than once, if you're getting something from it, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. It helps the algorithm out. As we build, we're going to be putting out better content. I look forward to doing interviews with some of your favorite content creators talking about serious issues. We want to try to address some things within ourselves, and that's the purpose of this. It's talking about what we can do, because we can't change the world. As I've said before, you can only see the world for what it is. The world can upset you, and you can feel like the world needs to change to fit what it is or the narrative that you believe. But at the end of the day, the world is what it is. We want to learn how to navigate within the world so we can have more peace in our souls. The thing about when you have a peaceful inside, it translates or it trickles down to everything else in your life. You'll find that your relationships are much easier. Your finances start to flow much better. Energy is surrounded by everything, right? Anything that we hold on to or put a lot of pressure on, we break. But the minute that we start to bring ourselves into ease and out of dis-ease, right? Let's look at that word, ease and dis-ease, right? Dis-ease being connected to the word disease, as in having something wrong internally. We can look at it in the same way with our mind state. When our minds are in dis-ease, then we start to realize that everything that we want, everything that we try to manifest, we push away from us. That's what these videos are about, and I appreciate the love. When I was younger, if I would have known that having people not support me was going to be necessary in my journey, I would have said, God, I'm ready and willing to do whatever it is that you need me to do and take on the challenges that you need me to take on. But it doesn't work that way. You're not given a plan, and God doesn't tell you what your purpose is in the beginning. He only gives you the struggle to go through, because you have to have a testimony. I believe that diamonds, well, I don't believe, I know for a fact, diamonds are made under pressure. They're not made under perfect circumstances. There has to be some chaos in life in order for you to get to a place where understanding comes. So, with that being said, I realized something early on. I started to realize things early on that I wasn't getting a lot of support, even though I felt like inside I was destined to be something and I was trying to find some direction. I wasn't getting support in all of the places where I felt like I should get support, so I should say. And a lot of you may feel like that. You probably feel like you go out into the world and you have family, you have people around you who you think are going to support your ideas, who you think are going to help you on your journey getting to the next level, who you think will pat you on the back and tell you you're doing a great job, and it's not happening. And now, I'm not saying for everybody it's not happening. Some of you all are growing up in great environments where that's just the case, where you do have a huge amount of support. But oftentimes you'll find that that may not be the circumstances. You may not be getting support from a great deal of people on your journey. And the reason for that is because you're going to have to figure these things out on your own, and you're going to have to be able to push through some resistance. Oftentimes, when you're not getting a great deal of support, it's because the universe wants you to push through some resistance. So, another thing that you'll find in your journey of trying to figure out what it is that you want to be and who you want to be is that you're going to have people around you who are going to be naysayers. They're going to shun you for dreaming bigger than where you're at and the environment and circumstances that you're in. And the reason for this is because your dreams may tend to scare other people, especially if you live in a situation or you live in an environment where there's not a lot going on outside of what the norm is, right? Whatever that norm may be. People tend to think that if you live in the hood, people want to keep you in the bubble of what everybody is doing in that neighborhood. But what I found is that this is culturally true all over the world. It doesn't really matter. In certain cultures, you're meant to be a doctor. And if you decide to be a comedian, your family is going to shun you and look at you a certain way because where we're from, you're meant to be a doctor. So you can only relate to what you can relate to. But I'll bring it back to where we come from. If you come from disenfranchised parts of America, if you come from the per se hood, then you're probably going to be around people who don't dream much bigger than the four walls that they've grown up in. And so when you decide that you want to grow outside of those limitations, you're probably not going to get a great deal of support. I remember on my journey always thinking that I could bring everybody with me. I had all these grandiose ideas about how I was going to start businesses, how I was going to own real estate, how I was going to do a great deal of things that would change just not my life, but the life of everybody around me. And I was met with a lot of resistance. I was told by people, it's not going to happen. And sometimes I wasn't even told by people it wasn't going to happen. It was just the energy you put out there. If you're around people who don't believe in your dreams or who feel like you might outshine them, that energy will affect your dream. It'll affect what it is that you're trying to do. You're going to realize that you're going to be met with some opposition to what it is that you're trying to do. And a lot of times it's not even verbal. People may not come right out and tell you they don't believe in your dreams, but their attitude around it, the way that they act, all of these things will let you know that they do not believe in what it is that you're trying to do. You're going to have to take full notice of these kind of things, because if you do not, people will actually bring an energy to what it is that you're trying to do that will trip you up. I got a couple of examples in my own life where things like this has happened. And I mean, on more than one occasion, when it was me trying to get to where it is that I wanted to be in life, somebody around me close to me either told me how they didn't believe in what it was that I was trying to do, or they showed me, or they put something in my way that would trip me up without me knowing. One of the times where I realized that I wasn't getting a great deal of support in what it was I was trying to do was when somebody kept bringing up my past to me. So they kept talking about where I was in life when I wasn't doing so well. And the conversation was like that for a couple of days, and they were visiting me from out of town. I had just moved into my second apartment with my kids. I think I was maybe in my third year of being a single father, and I had started to really get ahead in my HVAC career. And when this person came to visit, they talked to me a great deal about how I used to be in a bad place and what I used to not do right and how I used to not have my stuff together. And I remember I had to shut that conversation down. And by the end of their visit, I told them if they were going to come to my house with a certain amount of energy or with a certain amount of negativity, to never come visit me again, because I realized what it was that they were doing. And you're going to have to be very instrumental in who you let around you on your way up. Unfortunately, some of the people closest to you, you are going to have to let go. And this may be your mother, your father, this may be one of your siblings, somebody to that degree. But when you're climbing a ladder, when you're trying to get to where it is that you need to be in life, you're going to have to let some people go, because everybody cannot go on the journey with you. Another time this happened, it was a good friend of mine, and we were both in an attempt to do something. We had different goals in life, but we both wanted to get out of our circumstances. This person just happened to take the more traditional route of what they wanted to do, and I took a more practical approach to getting out of my circumstances. Now, when that happened, I noticed that the chaos in my house, which we both lived in together, I let this person come live with me. I realized that the chaos in my house started to get a little bit more out of control. The energy started getting worse. There was more negativity. There was more arguments. There were more things that distracted me from what it was that I was trying to do. Ultimately, I had to end the relationship. What I realized is that the relationship was taken away from the time that I needed to spend on me getting to where it was that I needed to go. I couldn't have negativity around my goals and around the things that I needed to do. I couldn't do it with all the distractions that were in the house and a lot of conversation about things I had no control over. So I chose to end that relationship. Now, to some degree, we later on picked up where we left off as we were older, but it was never the same. I was in a different place. 10 years had gone past, and my life had changed dramatically. By this point in my life, I'd actually gotten rid of a lot of, let me not say gotten rid of, I had changed my friend circle a great deal. And it wasn't even that I changed my friend circle, it was that I let go of a lot of relationships that didn't work for me, and naturally relationships that were symbiotic, where there was an even exchange, came into play naturally. And you'll find this to be true when you decide to let go of some of the people in your life who may not be motivating you, who may not be helping you in your process to get to the next level. Is that when you naturally let those relationships go, you make room for relationships in your life that are going to be symbiotic. It's going to be an even exchange. You're not going to feel like you're giving all your time, energy, and resources. It's going to feel like you all are giving to one another equally, but you're going to have to let go of a great deal of people. Another situation in my life where this happened, I was actually going from trade school going into the trade. And I remember my teacher, man, he was very important and instrumental in my life because he was the first person who had ever actually looked me in the face and told me, I think you're going to be great at this. This is something that I think you'll be great at. And one of the reasons why I never played a race game, or I got away from playing having any kind of conversation in regards to race, was that this man was a white Mormon man who had no investment in me whatsoever, other than the fact that he wanted to see me do good. And he put a great deal of energy in seeing me through my journey. And when I was trying to get my life in order, I was being tripped up by everything that you could possibly be tripped up by. At that time, my youngest son had actually attempted to commit suicide. I had to take a small stint out of school in order to deal with this situation. My teacher, one of two, told me, hey, you can't miss any more days. If you miss any more days, I'm gonna have to let you go from the class. But this teacher in particular, the one who had my back and supported me, said, I'm not letting you go anywhere. And you handle your family business as you need to. I'm gonna make sure that you stay in this class and we're gonna get you through the finish line. I was one of two black people in that class. The other black kid in that class, a black guy in that class, he was doing substantially better than me. At this point, I was a single dad. I was walking to school and I was working the job making $6 an hour. He had himself established pretty much years before this and he was doing okay. He just decided he wanted to have a change in trades. So when the opportunity came up for me to go to a company that was hiring, that my teacher had some influence with, he came to me and said, hey, I have a job for you. I'm gonna get you an interview with this company. The other black person in this class overheard this conversation and he came over and he asked if he can get an interview as well. I've never been a hater. You know, we can both get the job, that's great. So the teacher agreed, he got us both the interview. I would say about maybe a month and a half after we both started working for this company. We lived within close proximity to one another, but the job was actually way across town. It was actually a 2.5-hour trip by bus and train, but only a 30-minute drive away. Now, he would give me a ride every morning to this job. And then one day he just ended up not showing up. Me being the person that I am, realizing you can never really depend on one person. You never should put all your eggs in one basket. I always had other ways of getting to work, and sometimes I just took the train and the bus to work. I explained to the manager, hey, I'm gonna be 30 minutes late because I'm taking the train and the bus to work. When I would get to work, he would always have an excuse for why he couldn't pick me up. Oh man, I just missed your call. I just saw that you called me, man. I'm sorry, my bad. I just missed your call. To which I just explained to him, man, it's fine, no worries. So one day, one of the guys who I worked with asked me why I couldn't be on time every day for work. And I said, hey, I got to take the train and the bus to get here every day. Even when I leave out at a decent time, because the train starts running at a certain time, I'm still going to be 30 minutes late. After getting off my last bus, I have about a 45-minute walk the rest of the way to get to the job. He said, well, I talked to the other brother who works for the company who you used to get a ride from, and he told me he just can't give you a ride anymore. To which I replied to him, he doesn't owe me a ride. He doesn't owe me anything. At that moment, it sunk into me. And the realization that sunk into me through years of experience with people, that nobody owes you anything. It doesn't matter what you give out, what you do for other people, they owe you nothing back in return. And oftentimes they may not even give you anything back in return. Do not have the expectation of getting anything because you've given people something. Simple as that. Second lesson that I learned from that situation was that race does not matter. It don't matter if people are black, white, Indian, no matter what. You have to deal with the character of a person. We oftentimes get it mixed up and we want to play this song and game and dance about race being a contributing factor to how people treat us. But if you really are being honest with yourself, look within the friend group and the people right around you, and you'll find that the people right around you oftentimes are the people who are going to do the most damage to you. It's just inherent. Proximity plays a huge part in that, right? It just is what it is. So I learned to look at people for the content of their character and not the color of their skin, because the people who were supposed to be supporting and helping me were not the ones oftentimes who were supporting and helping me. I was trying to get somewhere in life. I was met with these same things. Hey, you made mistakes. You're not going to be able to do what it is that you're trying to do. Hey, I'm not going to be able to help you with what it is that you're trying to do. And I did make a great deal of mistakes. And at one point in life, I couldn't do anything but wrong. I was messing up every which way that there was to mess up. Two things had to happen. I had to take ownership of my own life, and I had to realize that nobody was supposed to help me. I also had to be my own biggest cheerleader. And when I got down the road and I got to a place in life where I was seemingly doing really good, then came another fraction or another situation where I was dealing with people who started to make comparisons to what it was that I was doing to them. And this is another thing that's going to happen when you start to climb up and you start to get better in life and actually start to achieve your dreams. You're going to find people who want to diminish what it is that you do in order to make themselves feel better. They'll start to make comparisons. They'll start to say things like, well, that's good that you did that, but I've done this. Or you've done that, but you can't do this. All of these conversations you're going to hear, right? I'm hearing conversations all over the internet even now, where we're divided up in more ways than one. You got Africans not getting along with foundational Black Americans. You got Black women and Black men at odds with each other. You got white against Black. You got Mexican and Black not getting along. And all of these conversations are going on everywhere that you go. Everybody is making comparisons. Everybody wants to show how they're better than one another. But nobody actually wants to stop the conversation and get down to the real work of doing things. There won't even need to be a conversation if we're simply just doing the work, right? In the shadows is where the growth starts to happen and the conversations stop. Once you get on your journey of growing yourself to be who it is that you want to be in life, you'll stop having these conversations and debates with people because you'll realize that they don't even matter. A lot of times it's just background noise. The people who are judging you, telling you they're better than you, telling you you can't do what it is that you say that you want to do, oftentimes it's just background noise keeping you from doing what it is that you really need to be doing. I've been in the middle of all of these debates across all of these platforms. I used to get into arguments online with people in the comments section, talking to people about things, my point of view, all of these different things, only to come to the realization that When I was doing the work, I didn't even have time to have these conversations with people. And if people are coming at you and they're throwing daggers, they're trying to make it seem as if you're not as big as you are, or you're not doing what it is that you think that you're doing. You're trying to be greater than what you're supposed to be. It's because they actually feel like you are great. Oftentimes in my life, before I recognized my greatness, other people saw it. When I go back and I refer to some of those conversations I had with people, I realized that other people saw my potential before I did. They saw my stature before I did. They saw my potential to be great. And the reason why they were coming at me with daggers, the reason why they were trying to tear me down, is because I shined a light so bright inside of me that it blinded them. And this is what happens, right? When you're destined for greatness, other people have to try to pull you down. It's just the universal law, right? It's the yin and the yang, the good and the bad. They're gonna have to try to bring you down to their level. What you have to realize is that that's not a you problem, that's a them problem. And yeah, you can feel bad about not being able to take people with you on your journey of greatness. But once you get to a place where you understand that you don't need people as much as you thought you did, it won't even matter anymore. Once you become very comfortable in your own skin, it won't even matter anymore. All of the things that you thought you needed outside of you won't even matter anymore. I can tell you this with everything in my being. I've been on a spiritual journey for the last 45 years. I would say at least 40 years. From the time I was a child, I've been trying to figure this life thing out, and I'm getting really good at it, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that I focus a lot of energy on figuring me out. I can really give a damn about the rest of the world and what they're doing out there. Once you start to fix what's going on internally, the rest of the world will bend to you. I can tell you this with the utmost certainty. The rest of the world is gonna bend to you. You'll walk through this life with ease. You won't even fear death. I can say that with truthfulness. You'll understand that the journey ends with death, and you'll realize that this life is for a reason, and that transitioning only means that you go home at the end of the day. So you'll really understand that death is a process that comes with your journey of life. And this is the place that I've reached. So I'm here right now doing these videos as a way to point other people in the direction that I've already started on the road down and getting to. It's a lifelong journey, learning. It's a lifelong journey figuring out yourself, your triggers, the things that make you mad, the things that make you unhappy, the trauma that's baked into you from things that you couldn't even control when you were a child. A lot of people don't realize their personality was developed at an early adolescent stage. Before their brains had fully formed, they developed their personality based on a lot of things that they were influenced by when they were younger, and a lot of trauma is baked in. For anybody to tell you they do not have trauma, that's because they have not taken a really good look at themselves. They haven't gone to therapy, and they haven't even started to try to figure out what it is that makes them tick. I'm here so that maybe I can walk with some of you on your journey to figure out where it is that you're in life. And once you figure that part out, life will get easier for you. All the things that you want will start to come to you. You're gonna have to shed some people in the process. Everybody's not gonna be a part of your journey. Some of the people that you love wholeheartedly will not be your biggest supporters. And that's just the truth of the matter. But you gotta keep on going with or without them. Like and subscribe. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the content. We're only gonna get bigger. We're gonna be doing 3 to 4 videos. Like I said, I'm actually gonna start bringing in some other content creators to talk to at some point and get their feedback on these things. And we're gonna keep the content about us focusing on ourselves, being better versions of ourselves, because we can argue about who's right over here, who's right over here, but the real work is inside of you. The real work is with you. The only person you can fix is you. You could be mad at the world and how it treats you and how you feel, but your mind state is gonna determine really where you end up in the rest of your days. I'm T. Rob, this is the Unapologetic Perspective. I'll see you guys on the next video. Please hit that like button. Once again, shout out to my producer, man. I appreciate everything that he does. He's been a big support in this whole journey. And I mean, he does his work, man. We get these videos out because of him, really. Honestly, I just sit in front of the camera, but he's behind the camera making everything happen. And I really appreciate that. So I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you.